At BYD's massive expansion site in Zhengzhou's airport economy zone, what was meant to symbolize China's EV future instead became a scene of sudden disaster. A deep, hollow blast echoed through the site, and within seconds, an enormous steel structure folded in on itself. Three workers were trapped beneath the wreckage and died instantly. Afterward, the silence was almost as shocking as the collapse. Local media vanished from the story, trending lists showed nothing, and only a short, cold notice appeared on a provincial government website. This happened at the heart of a so-called super factory, a flagship project designed to roll out 1 million vehicles a year. This tragedy was not random. It was the result of speed worship turning into systemic recklessness. To meet political deadlines, safety became negotiable. Supervisors took fees and looked away, while contractors pushed work down layer by layer until nothing was left for quality or protection. The BYD Zhengzhou project was finished in just 17 months under the slogan Henan Speed, masking a deadly trade between capital, political ambition, and human lives. For Zhengzhou, BYD was an economic lifeline. For the airport economy zone, it was a political trophy. Approvals were fast-tracked, warnings were buried, and no one dared slow the project with tens of billions of yuan at stake. Regulators became background props, inspections turned into rituals, and safety existed mostly on paper. The same pattern soon appeared in Xi'an. At the newly opened Longfor Chang'an Tongfang Mall, the ceiling above a third-floor escalator suddenly collapsed. Panels and steel frames crashed down in a cloud of dust. Shoppers screamed and ran, and a space marketed as modern instantly turned into chaos. Just days earlier, the mall had been celebrated as a symbol of a new commercial era in northwest China, backed by billions in investment and near full occupancy. 3 days later, that promise fell onto ordinary customers. Officials confirmed 8 injuries, while whistleblowers pointed to rushed construction, cheap materials, and inspections done only for show. This was not bad luck. It was the predictable outcome of a construction industry locked in a race to the bottom. Bids no longer chase reasonable prices, only the lowest possible ones. Contractors slashed costs by 10 to 20% to win projects, saving money on paper while pushing risk, shortcuts, and danger onto workers and the public. In many projects, the company that wins the bid never lifts a finger on site. It pockets the contract and hands the job off to another firm, which then passes it down again, sometimes multiple times, until it reaches the smallest labor teams. By then, budgets are stripped to the bone. Cheap, untrained workers are hired, inferior materials become standard, and quality control effectively disappears. When a collapse happens, the public sees a sudden accident. What they don't see is a rotten system quietly producing these outcomes every day. What has surfaced so far is only a glimpse of a much larger crisis. This year alone, similar incidents have erupted nationwide. 3 workers were killed at BYD's Zhengzhou factory expansion. A pedestrian bridge collapsed inside a Hefei mall, injuring 5. In Changsha, chunks of an office building's exterior wall suddenly fell to the ground. The Longfor Mall disaster was not unique. It was just another symptom of a spreading safety breakdown. Under China's political system, shoddy construction is widespread. Officials tied to projects often siphon off public funds, corner cutting becomes routine, and without real oversight, abuse of power flourishes while ordinary people pay the price. One veteran builder summed it up bluntly. Money flows downward layer by layer, but when something goes wrong, disaster shoots straight back up. Soon after, another fatal scene unfolded. In Chengdu's Chenhua district, a tower crane collapsed, killing 1 worker instantly and 4 more who later died despite rescue efforts. Videos showed the crane swaying violently, like it had lost balance before twisting apart. The boom, counterweight, and operators' cabins slammed into the site below, crushing scaffolding and concrete structures. Online outrage erupted. Many saw it as yet another case of lives sacrificed to meet construction schedules. Even state-owned heavyweights were dragged into the spotlight. Netizens accused China Railway 22nd Bureau of unsafe practices, alleging that workers were dismantling cranes without safety ropes, without professional crews, and without proper protection. It laid bare a cruel reality. Workers gambling their lives for a paycheck. Crane operators climb dozens of meters every day, enduring heat, cold, and isolation inside tiny cabins. Many don't even have basic insurance. When tragedy strikes, labor contracts are full of traps, and seeking justice becomes nearly impossible. Behind the crane collapse were fake qualifications, meaningless supervision, and companies that treated safety as an inconvenience. This wasn't bad luck, it was negligence written into the system. Around the same time, a construction blogger known as Mr. Long released a video exposing another hidden danger. He pointed to a manhole cover that looked normal at first glance. It should have been iron. Instead, it was made entirely of cement. He dropped it, and it shattered with ease. From the outside, it mimicked the real thing. Inside, it was a hazard waiting to claim a life. Mr. Long warned that this kind of heartless, low-grade construction puts the public directly at risk, especially in infrastructure people step on every day. One shortcut can create a deadly trap. He argued that manufacturers, builders, and regulators must enforce strict quality checks at every stage, every component tested, every material verified. Without that, conscientious construction is just a slogan. His conclusion was stark. Corruption in China's construction sector has reached alarming levels. Not long after, another video went viral, this time showing fake steel rebar. What appeared to be solid reinforcement bars were actually thin metal cores wrapped in thick outer shells to imitate real steel. Once peeled open, the fraud was obvious. It was undeniable proof that counterfeit materials are being systematically used. In recent years, bridges across China have collapsed with disturbing frequency, and many believe fake or substandard steel is a key reason. Some homeowners have even pulled counterfeit rebar out of their own walls. China's obsession with nonstop mega construction has turned collapses into a routine event. What should be rare disasters are now becoming the new normal. Further investigation revealed that the bridge linking Yinchuan and Baiyun'er was built using shockingly inferior materials. The rubber components were so poorly made they could be torn apart by hand. Official test results showed a tensile strength of just 1.78 megapascals, barely 15% of the national requirement of 12 megapascals. Instead of proper EPDM rubber, which is engineered to survive extreme temperatures from -40 to 80 degrees Celsius while retaining elasticity, builders use low-grade isoprene rubber. EPDM is critical for absorbing vibration and maintaining long-term structural stability. Cheap substitutes, however, degrade quickly, leak air and water, and fail under heat, pressure, or corrosion, turning vital safety components into ticking time bombs. The Yaima branch line spans roughly 200 kilometers and serves as the northwest extension of the Beiyou to Yinchuan high-speed railway. With total investment reaching into the hundreds of billions of yuan, the project was designed to link Ningxia with Inner Mongolia's grasslands and strengthen belt and road logistics. Construction began in 2023, with China Railway's 16th Bureau loudly promising a green, high-quality, high-speed rail benchmark. Progress was pushed at breakneck speed, with bridge piers rising rapidly across the region. What made the situation truly alarming was that the defective rubber wasn't an isolated mistake. It was everywhere. Reporters visited multiple sites along the line and found the same substandard rubber in widespread use. From transition beams east of Yinchuan to continuous beams near the Henan Mountains, identical flaws kept appearing. At one location, workers quietly admitted the material wouldn't survive a single winter, and that passing trains already caused violent vibrations. Elsewhere, inspection records stamped "qualified" told a reassuring story, until spot checks exposed the reality. Experts concluded this wasn't a technical slip-up, but a coordinated failure across the entire supply chain. Suppliers diluted raw materials with recycled scraps, subcontractors slashed costs to win bids, and frontline crews rushed installations to meet deadlines, locking hidden dangers into concrete forever. The revelations ignited fierce debate online. Many users recalled eerily similar cases. 2 years ago, rubber components on a Beijing-Shanghai high-speed rail branch deteriorated badly, nearly triggering a derailment. The year before that, substandard work on a Lanzhou-Xinjiang railway branch collapsed during the rainy season. A retired engineer issued a blunt warning. With tensile strength this low, fatigue cracks could spread instantly when trains pass at 300 kilometers per hour. Once waterproofing fails, steel corrodes fast, cutting a bridge's lifespan by at least 2 decades. As China's speed continues to dominate decision-making, a troubling question keeps surfacing. If the safety buffers are this fragile, how safe are the trains themselves? China's infrastructure crisis is not accidental. It is deeply systemic. Over the past 20 years, the country's most celebrated achievement has been its construction frenzy. High-speed rail, highways, airports, factories, and mega complexes launched and completed at astonishing speed. The real engine behind this rush is political performance. GDP numbers, investment figures, and fixed asset targets that determine officials' promotions. Safety spending, by contrast, earns no political credit and is often treated as a nuisance that slows progress. China has built more homes, taller towers, longer bridges, and larger factories than any nation on Earth. Yet the people who build them are treated as disposable. These collapses and failures are not acts of nature. They are man-made outcomes of a system that worships speed, profit, and political achievement above human life. As one veteran of the industry put it bluntly, this is not a series of accidents, but a structural tragedy, one destined to repeat itself as long as the system remains unchanged.